my name is Stephanie, and in today's video I'm going to show you an ink and watercolor painting and later even a bit of acrylic gouache that I made inspired from a picture I took in Seoul in Korea. I recently was in Korea for an art residency which I really loved in Busan, and on my way back I stayed 2 weeks in Seoul but I met a friend, or I met someone in Busan, an artist, Christina, and then I did spend a lot of time with her in Seoul. Anyway, so this painting is kind of inspired by that period of my time in Korea. One, because the picture of the street and the buildings, etc., I took that picture in Seoul while I was just wandering around, and the flowers in the foreground are as a reference, or I made studies of those flowers in a coffee shop when I was with Christina, and then I decided it would be fun to implement those in the painting. So basically it's a mixture of those two. And this painting is for a series I'm working on currently, which is about lost worlds. And it is for an art magazine that is going to be printed here in Paris, or not here in Paris, but here in France. I don't live in Paris. I live in Vannes, which is in France, but it's much smaller. It's a very big art magazine. I actually heard it's over 1 kilogram heavy, so pretty heavy. I have no idea how that is in ounces or what you guys use. It's a pretty big art magazine because it's going to feature 35 artists, and I talked about it in my last video, but I am going to assume that you haven't watched it. and yeah, it's an art magazine with 35 artists, illustrators, and all of us are working on lost worlds, so that's the theme. I did apply to get into that art magazine because my work is already about lost worlds, so it did fit perfectly, and this is what I've been working on since I've been back. So currently, what you're seeing now is the second painting for that art magazine, but right now as I'm speaking and editing this video, I'm on my 5th, and it's going to be the last because currently you have pre-sales until the 30th of June, and the 30th of June is also my deadline to send in all the latest artworks that I've been working on. And so the painting I'm working on is going to be the last, and maybe, if I feel like it, I might do a bunch of oil studies on top of that, but I'm really not sure because I have other projects and shows and a book and everything that is going on, so I will see. If you're interested in that art magazine, the pre-sales are open, as I said, right now. It's for just a few European countries. So France, obviously. I know there's Germany in there. And I don't remember the rest. Italy, maybe. Spain, I don't remember. I know the UK is not there, and it's definitely not worldwide. It's really within the European Union. And I'm guessing it's mostly because of shipping costs, because, as I said, it's over 1 kilogram heavy, and it's just one person who's making that art magazine, so I think she wants to keep it doable for herself. So yeah, but if you're interested, you can check it out. You can also just donate money if you'd like, but I don't think many would do that. I personally would rather have the art magazine. In any case, so that's the theme and everything about this artwork. Now, as I mentioned, Lost Worlds is, I would say it's my working theme, has been for a long time, as much in my sculptures as the paintings. But lately I've been really wanting to dive into more post-apocalyptic, dystopian, or utopian, maybe. Utopian landscapes where the human is absent and the objects are left behind and nature's growing back. And I've been really interested in that idea of landscapes. So for now, I've been mostly doing those in watercolor. So it's really mixed media because I draw with ink, I paint in watercolors in many layers, and usually at the end I adjust, save, correct with acrylic gouache. Definitely mixed media. I don't really intellectualize it that much. I might use also colored pencils sometimes. I basically use what feels right at any given time. But yeah, I've been really into working on landscapes. And as usual, and I'm sure if you're a working artist, professional or not, you know that the more you paint, the better you get. And so I've been really seeing that over the last 6 months, because it's been a painting year so far. I've been painting a lot. And it's nice because I've never really managed up until now to dedicate that much time to painting. But I do see the progress is faster, obviously, and real. And it makes me want to paint even more and to paint more in oils as well. I think I really want to take this to the oil stage at some point. Not all of them, but yeah, one a year would be nice. I don't know yet exactly where I'm going to go with that. But yeah, we will see. In the meantime, I'm really enjoying myself painting with watercolors. I do love watercolors. Watercolors are very fun. It's not an easy medium, but I am so used to it now with the layering of many colors and to deal with the transparency, that whenever I have to correct something with acrylic gouache, I'm like, oh, this feels like cheating. It's so easy. So yeah, I'm really used to it now. So I don't really mind, and I like the ease, the setting up of watercolors. It's just water and a box of watercolors, and that's pretty much it. You don't have to do much to start. The color mixing is pretty fast. Cleaning is very fast, and yeah, you can squeeze in 15 minutes of paintings here and there if you'd like, and that works. I feel like with oil painting, it's a lot more to set in place, etc., and it feels bigger somehow. It's much easier to paint with oils, so there's that. But the setting up I find sometimes a bit discouraging. I mean, I've been wanting to do oil studies since I've been back, and we're already in June, and I haven't, just because my mind always goes, oh yeah, but you have to set everything up and get out that specific palette, and then you will have to clean the brushes and you have to mix the colors and stuff like that. And so I don't do it. I need to find a way to make it easy on me so I can jump into the oil painting much more easily, because I feel like that's the only thing that's holding me back from oil painting right now. That being said, and I've mentioned it in my 2 last videos, I plan on working on a big canvas in oil paints. And for once, I know exactly where I'm going with this, because I did the watercolor study and I finished it. And that was last video of Ulsan, which was a dystopian industrial era. So yeah, just need to start really. And my goal, I have that specific rule in my head that I have to start this canvas before the end of June. So likely, with how it's looking right now and my current schedule, that means next week. So yeah, I think I'm pretty positive about that. I'm not too worried. I'm pretty good at working. But yeah, that's it. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Now for the color scheme of the painting you currently are seeing, it was heavily inspired by a small study I did in my sketchbook when I was in Korea, also in Seoul, and I just really liked that gradient. So this is something that is fairly new, I would say, in my watercolor paintings, to really work gradient from top to bottom. I used to do that, but it was more subtle, and I don't know, I just went all in. I kind of like it. My boyfriend doesn't, so that gives me a bit of doubt, but I tend to just go with whatever feels right at any given time. And maybe I will tell you in 6 months that that was not the good idea that I was thinking it was. I honestly don't know. But for now, I'm really enjoying to work in that type of gradient where it's really top-bottom gradient, and not just flowers and birds and animals, and then the leaves would stay green, because that's how I used to do it. And I also did tend to keep the buildings and the man-made objects more neutral. But yeah, I've always been drawn to these gradients, even in other artworks. I really love when artists do that, the full gradient from top to bottom. So I think it's here to stay. I just need to tweak it probably a bit here and there to make it maybe just better, you know. But I feel like with every painting, I'm getting the contrast and shadows and light better, because I come from sculpting, and in sculpture, the difficulty of sculpture is the structure. It has to hold basically and not break, and then color choices. But when you start painting, you have to think about composition, shadows, and light. Now, I'm not the best at composition, but I take okay-ish balanced pictures, and since I use my pictures as a reference, usually it's not too bad. I could think about it more. I don't know, just push it more, but at the same time, I think I often am too lazy to do that, which arguably is not a good thing. But yeah, I like to not overthink it, because I feel like I need to grow in other areas in my paintings rather than composition, if that makes sense. I might be wrong and I might regret it later. I don't know. I don't do no thinking at all. It's not like that. But it's not something that I spend too much time on. And when it comes to shadow and light, since right now I'm really using reference pictures of the real world, I do have pretty good shadows and lights as a reference, and that helps me out a lot. And yeah, I'm really trying to push contrast, because I know I tend to, again, it's not really an issue. You have artists who make great art and it's not very contrasty, but I don't like it personally on my paintings. When it lacks contrast, I feel a bit frustrated. So this is something I personally am working on and pushing myself to be more mindful about. And I think with the painting that you're seeing right now, I think I did a pretty good job. It's not like amazing, but it's not bad. I feel like I got the right amount of detail, contrast, the gradient. I think it's probably my favorite painting of the whole series. As the next ones, I mean, nothing is terrible, but this is for sure my favorite. I feel like it's the most balanced of all the bunch. Maybe it's just to my taste more than the others, or I was fresher when I did that when I worked on that one, so it just feels more accomplished. But yeah, I quite like this painting, which is not the case of all of them. Which I shouldn't say, right? Because I'm trying to sell them. But yeah, it's just the truth. On that note, because I just said I'm trying to sell them, I will put them on my website soonish. I will send out a newsletter. If you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, please do. Social media has been really difficult lately. Engagement has plummeted. I think, like many other artists, I know I'm not the only one in that, but we really feel invisible these days, and it's been really difficult to have traction of any kind, much engagement really. And so it's okay. Some of my followers still get views, so that's okay, but it's just been a bit frustrating to see that most just don't see my work. And it's the same for me. I subscribe to a lot of artists and I just don't see their work anymore. So it's in both ways frustrating as a creator, but also as someone who enjoys other people's art. And anyway, my newsletter is great. I don't send that many emails. I tend to send when there's something important going on. I should be sending one before the end of, or maybe beginning of next week, I hope, so I can post the paintings on my website and talk about the pre-sales before they end. That would be nice. I tend to send a newsletter maybe once every couple of months, maybe 4 newsletters a year. I know everyone tells you to send more newsletters, but I find that annoying. As a newsletter subscriber, I prefer having a newsletter when there's actual really something new going on. So that's how I do it usually. When I have a new show or new artwork is available, then I will send out a newsletter, but not just to check in. That's not what I do. I don't write that much. I've always been more visual than talkative, even though I kind of have to force myself to be more talkative with YouTube, but it's just, I find it easier to show my work than to talk about it. I put so much effort into my artwork that it is understandable without any kind of extra texts, that it feels redundant to talk too much about it. We still have a couple of minutes left, but I'm kind of running out of things to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking, and thank you already for watching this video, although we still have a couple of minutes left. I hope you're going to watch it until the end regardless, because I hope you are entranced by my work. And if not, that's fine. If you've stayed with me until now already, I thank you very much. Please leave a palette emoji in the comments down below. It really helps the engagement, the algorithm. It makes me really happy, and it motivates me to make this kind of videos and to talk to you. Also, please let me know if you would mind me not talking at all, because it would make it a bit easier on me sometimes to just post a video without me talking. I don't know if people still enjoy that. I feel like nowadays most people put a video up and they listen more than they watch it. So I'm just not sure if it's something that you would like or not. So please let me know. And let me know as well what you would like to see next, if there's anything. Don't think too much about it. It's just, if you have an idea, you can leave a comment down below. If not, that's fine. YouTube is a mess anyway, so it's okay. Thank you so much for watching. We are actually coming to the end of this video, so I managed somehow. And yeah, thank you for being there, for your continuous support, for your kindness in your comments, and yeah, for being just always very nice to me. Thank you for that. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!